Oh, look at that snazzy shirt you're wearing there.
And you too, my brother.
Look
You
at that.
too.
Look
Yeah.
at that. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I wonder where those came from.
I know. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Love
Hey,
it.
you know what? This show just continually it keeps impressing me. It keeps me on the edge. I
Well,
love this.
like, like we've discussed before in the past about Sly's work, you're not always going to, most people aren't going to love every single thing Sly does.
No.
Everything he does is great. It's fantastic. I mean, you even he would say that, you're lying. That's not the truth. I mean, I have a handful of things that I didn't care for that Sly did,
Sure.
that I just thought were subpar or whatever. But this show, I tell you,
Yeah.
and it's a shame that it took the entertainment industry so long to put him in a mob role. Because
Right.
he's fantastic.
Oh,
He's born for. I heard him say in an interview one time they told him he wasn't Italian enough for a extra in The Godfather.
It's crazy.
The man's name is Sylvester Stallone. Like, really? Anyway, this is before he was known, but still, it's not like his name was John Smith.
Chef Boyardee.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, it's some show. I tell you, some show.
I look forward to it. And we discussed this last week. I am so happy it's only, you can see it on Sunday once a week,
Yeah.
Because it just the anticipation of it. I just love it.
It is. That's the exciting part of it. Like it used to be, when certain shows ended, you're like, oh man, I gotta wait till next week, and so it's good stuff. Excellent. I love it. But yeah, as we said last week, we're going to discuss Tulsa King. The most recent episode.
Now wait a minute.
Okay.
I got to hold you to something here.
Okay.
Every week you always give me crap about my hat. Because I always have a different hat on. This time, come on.
That is the hat. That's the hat to be wearing right now.
Okay.
There you go.
Era.
Yep. The black hat. They brought that back this year.
Did they really?
Yeah. The Mets. They had a knock 'em, drag 'em fight against the Phillies yesterday. They were winning, they were losing, they were winning, they were losing, all the way to the bottom of the ninth.
I heard there's 5 or 6 score changes.
Yeah, and then the Phillies did take a walk-off hit and win the game. So the series is tied 1-1, but it goes to New York tomorrow, and hopefully they could get some of that magic back. And you know what? Even if they split the series in New York and have to go back to Philly, we'll see. Hopefully they could take the 2 in New York and call it a day and go to the NLCS. But we'll see. Bottom line, as a Met fan, I'm thrilled that they're even here. I'm even talking about these games in October. So good stuff. Let's go Mets. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's go Mets. I'm right there with you. Let's go
Mets. Last week we did say about we're going to be checking out the most recent Tulsa King, which is episode 4. Name of the episode was Heroes and Villains. So without getting anybody upset with us, we're going to put this up there. Okay.
Let's do that.
We'll leave that up there the whole show. So this way you do tune in later and you don't want to say, oh, well, I didn't hear it from the beginning. I'm giving it to you right there. Very blatantly seen, bright colors. So, keep an eye on that. So now that we told everybody there's going to be spoilers on this show that we already watched episode 4, we will go forward with it.
Yes.
So it opened up right after episode 3. Literally right after episode 3.
Right.
They were Bigfoot and Tyson driving back from putting the body on the driveway of Bill Bevilacqua and going to dropped him off, and then they went to Dwight's house, and Dwight asked, everything good, and asked how Tyson did. Said he did okay. I'm telling you, there's something with Tyson. I hate to say it, but I think he's going to be the one.
You think so?
We'll get.
Okay. Well, he was definitely.
What's that?
He was definitely shaken up.
I do.
Okay. He was definitely.
Oh, he was shaken up. He wants to get into this life.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to get into this life badly.
Yeah. you could see it definitely spooked him, and he was very unsure. And then he kind of like gravitated towards his dad,
Mm-hmm.
kind of almost like looking for a little bit of, I don't want to say protection, but to have
Kind of, a little comfort, little like,
the
I
comfort
get
of
it.
dad being there, the shoulder, and
Yeah.
yeah, something's going on with Tyson for sure.
I
I
just,
don't
I
know if
have,
he's going to be the one, but
I just have a bad feeling. I hope I'm wrong. I like Tyson. I like all of them, but I mean,
yeah,
somebody's going.
oh yeah,
Somebody's got to go.
yep,
They're sitting at the round table every week when they open up the script. They're probably looking to see, like, who is it? Me? Am I going?
yeah,
Who is it?
yeah, right,
I mean, because somebody's got to go. It's just that
yep,
simple. Unfortunately, I do think it's Tyson. Tyson, is his driver from the beginning, and he wanted to get into this life, and he had a little blood on his jacket. Didn't seem to bother him all that much, and walked inside, and like you said, went to his dad to try to get a little comfort or whatever to get his mind off it, maybe.
mm-hmm.
And then he tried to give his dad some money, and that didn't go over very well.
No,
But then when he asked him, when Dwight was asking him, I think Dwight's trying to keep him out of it as much as he can.
sure,
But leading up to the next part, it seems the opposite. The next part was when Dwight said they had to talk to everybody and let him really know, like, this is getting heavy now.
right.
When they all went, he walked into the weed store and everybody get out. We got to talk. And, but then Tyson did the talking.
Yeah.
So
he wanted to, I don't know. Is he like, I don't want to say overcompensating for what he was scared or was shook him up, but maybe he was just trying to portray himself as bigger.
No,
better,
I think that. I think he was trying to let Dwight know, I could be your right hand. I could be your consigliere. I could be, whatever you want me to be.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that. I think he was like, I'll take care of it, and try to work his way up into the family.
Right.
And then, of course, there was that little, I don't want to say altercation, but a little disagreement with Bodie, like we knew was probably coming. Bodie never seems very pleased with anything.
No, he's very disinterested in everything.
Well, I mean, let's face it. He was forced to do what he's doing.
Yeah.
And like he said in the episode, he didn't want to do this. He's being forced to do it.
Right.
But it's also not like he's not being compensated. And it's not like he's not being, Dwight, of course, would protect him if anything was to happen. But it freaked him out when they said what was going on.
Sure.
And he's like, I didn't want any part of this. I'm out. But then he came back, changed his mind, and everybody agreed they were all in. They understood the dangers. I think it was more like it was never blatantly said like that to these guys. Like, look, this is what's going on. This is the life we lead. This is what we're accepting. You don't want it, like Tyson said, there's the door.
Yeah.
I stay. If you do and you stay, I don't want to hear it.
But I think the difference being from Dwight's crew to Chicky's crew, if you, or, even like the Goodfellas crew, you walk out the door, it's not going to be a very long walk. Right? I think Dwight would let you go.
I think with Dwight's crew, if one of those guys wanted to walk, he'd let them walk.
They'd let them walk away. Where with Chicky's crew or in the mob,
you just can't sign off on that life. I'm out.
No, you say always, no, and then you look down to see if there's a tarp under your feet.
They open a trunk and it's lined with plastic. It's a problem. So then after that, they all agreed they were in, and they had to go to a meeting about the wind turbines again.
Yep.
And they went up to the meeting with the Indian tribe.
Well, the car ride, we got it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the car ride. What did you think of the car ride?
I thought it was hysterical.
Well, I thought it was hysterical too.
Yeah.
I was wondering, like, why?
They always show them having the lollipops, and obviously it's got marijuana in the lollipop.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just kind of, the whole episode itself in general almost kind of showed a softer side to Dwight,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And then him being stoned with off the lollipops, just showing that goofy side,
Yeah.
like where Sly said himself, this character is probably the most resembles me out of all the characters. You can
Yeah.
kind of see him being it, filling that,
When he's like that, yeah.
yeah, when
But
he's,
I don't mean to interrupt. I completely
yeah,
forgot mentioning trying to do this in order. It's not as easy as it sounds, guys. When you're watching something that we only watched it 24 hours ago.
yeah.
Um,
And we're
when he
old, so
went,
we have bad memories.
I know. When Dwight went home and the sister was waiting for him.
Oh yeah.
Forgot about that. So the sister was waiting up for him, and Dwight's like, "What are you doing?" And she pressed him. She's like, "This feels like the bad old days. Like, what's going on? We need to know. Are we in trouble? Are we in danger? And she knows the life. She knew it. She grew up around it. So I'm wondering, she's the other one in my teetering, seesawing back and forth between who do I think is going to get whacked, Tyson or the sister.
Oh, okay.
Because they're going to go after somebody that will hurt him. We've already had this discussion.
Yep.
And it was confirmed in this episode. He did kill off a made guy.
Yeah.
And you can't just kill off a made guy without following the processes.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be retribution to pay.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, he had that talk with his sister. I mean, she kind of, I don't want to say she came out of nowhere, but she did kind of just jump onto the scene in season 2 a little more than she was.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, she's also a name actress where I think she'll be around a little bit. But I could be wrong. Maybe it's not her. I don't think it'll be the daughter. I don't think they'll go that far.
I think that'd be
That's
hard
extreme.
with the 2 kids. I think
That's extreme. I mean, if he killed Chicky or Bill Bevilacqua, then that would be on the same level. But this was a secondary guy. But anyway, so yeah, the car ride. I agree with you. I think it showed his softer side, but it was very drawn out. It was a much longer scene than I anticipated.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, like, where is he going with this? Why is he like? Why they were all like busting on him, like, yeah, okay, like,
yeah.
How many of these did you have? Like stuff.
It was. I liked it because, like I said, it kind of showed a different side to him, as the general, being goofy and stoned, and then he's kind of, he's letting his gang, letting the guys, bust his cooliones, and having a laugh at his expense.
Yeah.
And again, going along with the whole concept of the show, and we'll talk about this, he's kind of going retrospect on some decisions that he's made.
Right.
He's really introvertly thinking about some of the stuff he's doing. And
right.
I really liked that whole scene. It was just a lighthearted moment,
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of heavy stuff going on, so they had to put something in there.
Sure.
That right after that scene, before they met with the Indian tribe, is when Bevilacqua called up Chicky, and Chicky's like, I knew what happened. I understand. He's like, Bevilacqua's flipping out. My wife could have come home and seen this body in my driveway. He's not happy, and Chicky's trying to figure out like what to do. Then he had that at the table. He had the 2 guys there where he kind of told the guys that he killed his father.
Yeah.
Where he's saying, I held him under. You've seen his legs kicking. And never mind. It's nothing.
What did you think about when he was laying on the couch sleeping?
When they first came in, I thought he was dead.
I thought so too.
Because I can't remember he wasn't moving at all. Yeah, he didn't move. I can't
remember his name, but he was like, Chicky, because his phone was ringing.
Yeah.
And he wasn't moving. And I'm like, did he die? And then I'm like, oh.
I mean, it didn't make sense for him to die. And then I was thinking, well, did the guy who left do something to him and, like slip him something?
Yeah.
But then you heard him move and, leave me alone, whatever he said.
But he had I can't remember his name. He was the one that Dwight punched out in the first episode and broke his jaw.
Vincent or Vinny. Yeah.
And then I'm like, I wonder, because he had a look on his face like, I wonder if he's going to try and kill him,
Yeah.
While he was sleeping.
Well, he did take the phone.
And
Yeah. He did take the phone and talk to Bevilacqua about what was going on.
Yeah.
He wanted to handle it differently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. But then they met with the Indians
Mm-hmm.
and wanted to make a deal with them. But they met with the Indians after our buddy Cal Thresher, got some information from our Armand.
Armand, yeah.
Yeah, told Armand that Armand told him about the turbines and about where they're going to be, and kind of
Right.
gave Thresher a little heads up on it. And he went out there and made a deal pending
And I
on the
think
turbine.
that's probably, I don't know, I think, or what I thought was at that point when Armand says, "Oh,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like, now he knows he's into it with Thresher. The
yeah. But I
Thresher,
mean, he's also not stupid. I mean, come
well,
on.
no, but I know he's not
the guy
stupid,
hands
but
him 30 grand and says, maybe you could do me a favor someday. He's been around the mob life long enough. He knows.
yeah, he knows. But maybe he's like, I don't know. He's like, oh, and then did I give him too much information, or I don't know. But you could tell that.
Well, he definitely knows he's in it now. I mean, he's
Yeah,
got himself a problem now. It's definitely
yeah,
not something that's going to go away at this point, because one or the other is going to get to him.
mm-hmm.
He changes his mind and says, Dwight, Thresher paid me to say this and this and that. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I'll make it up to you, yada, yada, yada. I don't think Dwight would accept that. And I think that would be a problem for Armand, and or the other way around with Thresher.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, never mind. I can't do this. I've known Dwight long enough. Well, but you owe me. You said you'd do me a favor.
Yeah,
So I think he's caught between a rock and a hard place.
yeah,
It's not good for him.
yeah. He knows he's in the deep shit right now.
Yeah, yeah. So when he went to the Indian tribe and they met that guy. His name was Medhat. Was his name, right?
Medhat, yeah.
What kind of name is Medhat? So Dwight says later, what kind of name is Medhat? The Quapaw Nation. They went back and forth a little bit on the haggling and the agreement to the deal.
Yeah.
But they did settle on the deal. So now this is Dwight's turbines to have with them. So Thresher lost out on that again. Lost out to Dwight again, I should say.
Sure.
Let's see what happened after that. Now I'm trying to think.
Well, then there was the car ride back, and they were talking about, who names their kid or whatever after town.
Oh yeah, after a town.
Yeah, because Medhat was a town.
Yeah, it's a town. They said it was a town in Canada.
Something like that. And then it's like, then they were just rattling off names and yeah.
The car ride was funny both ways. The car ride was funny.
Yeah, it was good.
So let's see here. What else we got? So they had they went to the car dealership.
Yep, I was going to bring that up.
Mitch and Dwight went to the car dealership to talk to him about selling it.
Right.
So it looks like now they own a car dealership.
Yeah, that's crazy. Mitch seems to know the backside of that business, from a couple episodes ago. He was talking how they could hide money and stuff like that. So it just,
I mean, between the weed store, the weed production, and the car business, I mean, they're doing
wind turbines, and he's dabbling.
So it's interesting. It's interesting. Oh, and then we have Goody, who's a nervous wreck.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Who thinks Uber Eats is going to kill him?
I know. Well, I mean, the way that they played that out with the white car with the black fin going up and down, you're like, huh? Is this a hit on Goody? Never saw the Uber Eats thing coming.
No, I didn't either. Nope. That's where the writing's so good, though. It's like they don't give you what you're expecting. They do twist it a little bit, and they twist it in a good way. They don't give you, the obvious. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that surprised the hell out
I
of me.
think how it ended. I'm trying to think how it ended now. I can't remember how it ended.
Well, Thresher was had a meeting with Jackie, who was he had
the Chinese crime boss guy.
He had a disagreement with him because they were growing poppy in the middle of their marijuana fields. And he's like, hey, I don't want to part of this heroin business. I want you to plow this stuff under, but you're going to give me your cut or something like that. And then there was a couple of guys who were actually stealing from Thresher or Jackie. And Thresher brought him, they had him tied to a pole.
Right.
They were going to Thresher thought he was going to make an example of him, but Jackie just shoots him.
Both of them, one shot.
Well, yeah, right. Boom, boom.
Went in one head, out the other.
Yeah. So now I'm thinking to myself, after the show ended, I know we were going to be talking about this. I'm like, okay, so we have Chicky, we've got Thresher, we got Bevel Aqua, and now we're going to have Jackie. So Dwight's got 4 people coming at him right now,
Well, as of right now, Jackie's not, because Jackie really is,
he's
but
not,
I'm just saying, as
of
right now,
he will be.
Oh yeah, probably, or you never know. Maybe he'll be siding towards Dwight.
Ooh, well,
I mean, he doesn't seem to really see eye to eye with Thresher all that much.
Well, you're right. That's true.
And I don't think it would really matter to Dwight if he was, if he brought somebody else in some way. But who knows? I mean, maybe not. But he didn't seem very thrilled with the way Thresher was handling the whole "you're stealing from me" thing. And then did you see how freaked out Thresher got when he shot them?
Yeah, absolutely.
He was, it seemed he was not expecting it. B, it freaked him out. Maybe he's never even seen anybody killed. I mean, I don't know.
And then Jackie said, and then Jackie says, nobody argues. What do you say? I don't share my money or something like that with anybody. And, and you just saw Thresher kind of like you said, like a deer in the headlights kind of.
Oh, he was definitely spooked out. I mean, it seems like, it doesn't seem like he's involved in that type of heaviness of that type of business. Even getting people to do what he needs to do. I don't think he kills.
No, he's probably one of those who throws money at people and that gets them to do what he wants that way.
Yeah, I mean, or even a beatdown, but not blowing their head off.
No,
I could be wrong. Like I said, I mean, we really don't know anything about the guy.
Right.
I mean, so, we could find out later on. He was a lot more into it than we know. So Jackie Ming, like you said, he's got a little army of people that are not thrilled with him.
No. I know. Plus, he also had the feds, and then he had the feds after him. And,
crazy. So that kind of wraps up episode 4. I mean, you knew it wasn't going to be bang, bang, bang with drama and action and intensity. Yeah. Because after the last episode 3, they had to kind of bring it down a notch and then lay a little more out, lay a little more information, lay a little more storyline, which they did all that.
Yeah.
They did more storyline, laid out more characters, like you said, more people involved. So we'll see. It's interesting.
Yeah. I love
next
this
week.
show.
Next week will be episode 5, right? Episode 5.
Yeah. How many are they slated to have? Do you know?
There's 10 total. The
last
episode is November 17th. So we got October 13th, 20th, 27th, November 3rd, 10th, and 17th.
Not enough.
And that's it.
And
we'll know, even like he said, I read somewhere that season 3 was signed on already.
Okay, that's good to know.
So we'll see, and we'll see how it ends, and who knows.
Yeah. But
definitely have us on the edge of our seat, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Sleeping my
with
Tulsa
the mob
King shirt on Sunday nights.
Yeah, right. I love that. Look, and I think I said this already, but I love how you can see Sly in between the words.
Yeah, his silhouette.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So in keeping with the mob theme, we're gonna go do a little backstory Again,
There he is.
We got
there he is. Segway Tony.
we got pretty good. We got pretty good feedback about the backstories we did on Adrian and Paulie. So we decided to do a backstory again this week. We're probably going to split it like this. We think we're going to try to do this, unless the episode has a lot to talk about.
Right.
We might do a little half and half. Yeah. If we have a guest, we're probably not doing anything but the guest.
Right.
But yeah, so keeping up with the mob theme, we're going to discuss Mr. Tony Gazzo here, which everybody knows Tony. You know, Rocky works for him in the original film, going into Rocky 2, where he tries, he's done now, but he's still not affiliated with him, but knows him still, obviously. He invited him to the wedding. Tony came to tell him to come back to work for him. And also at the end, he's at the fight again.
Yeah.
So we did a little backstory here. I'm sure Rick is a lot more noteworthy than mine is, because mine is definitely shorter. I feel like I was going to go a little bit off of the improv. So we'll let you start, because I know you probably got a ton of notes.
I did it in bullets again, not like
Okay.
In my brain that works easier for me. So our man Gazzo, born in the mean streets of Philadelphia.
Okay.
Given up at birth from mom and dad, and bounced from foster home to foster home.
Oh, all right.
Number one. I'll give you like a couple more here. He met Rocky at a young age, around 10-ish, on the playground. It's one of the schools. He got into a fight with Rocky over lunch money.
Okay. Okay. This is so funny, because yours is so different than mine. Not even close.
Okay.
Well, actually, you mentioned lunch money. I have lunch money involved too.
Okay. All right. After Rocky and Gazzo fight, Gazzo tells Rocky that they are long lost cousins.
Okay.
And they begin to form a friendship and a bond.
Okay.
You want me to just give you my whole story?
Yeah. Just keep going.
Okay. All right. Gazzo helps Rocky in school, with homework and grades and whatnot. Neither of them do so well, but he's extorting money from kids with Rocky as his muscle. he's like, give me your lunch money, punk.
Right?
And Rocky's like, yo, give it to him. I'll break your thumb. Neither graduate from school, and Gazzo starts working for a loan shark on the docks, learning the business, and Rocky just goes and about what he's doing. They kind of drift apart.
Okay.
Gazzo decides to go out on his own and meets back up with Rocky on the docks, after some time, and he offers him his job as his muscle again, reminding him that they are blood cousins, or so Gazzo says. Gazzo meets Buddy, hires him to drive because Rocky can't drive. And Buddy is definitely jealous of Rocky and hates him because of his relationship with Gazzo. And that's what I kind of brings me up to Rocky, where
pretty makes up to Rocky, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, we do have some similarities, but extreme differences.
Okay.
Extreme difference. So I don't know why I write these things like this. I just do. I wrote a little paragraph about the parents.
Okay.
And then a little paragraph about, the younger version of Gazzo. So Gazzo's father was a low-level mob enforcer. He wasn't he was a collector, but he was an enforcer more so than a collector. He did gamble too much. Went out and gambled a lot of his money away. He did teach Tony about mob life, trying to tell him that it wasn't a life of glamour, trying to keep him out of it. He was an overall good guy. The neighborhood liked him. He was almost a Rocky-ish type of guy where he had this
Wow.
heart in the right place, but he could only break people's fingers to get money, to get a salary.
Mm-hmm.
He's good to Tony. He's good to the wife. He's not, an alcoholic or beats them or anything like that. He gets killed shaking down somebody for a loan
Oh.
when Tony's relatively young. The mother was a nurse, a good woman, tries to keep Tony out of that life. She's like, I've treated too many of your father's wounds. I don't want to, do that to my son.
Mm-hmm.
They're barely getting by in life. So that leads me up to like Tony being a teenager. He's a slick teenager. Picture a younger version of Tony. He's got the hair, the sunglasses, the pinky ring, and he's 14.
Okay. I like it.
And again, now this is the funny that all has nothing, complete opposite of yours. But now, now here where you and I are meeting now. So he knew of Rocky. Rocky was a grade under him, but Rocky was a lot bigger than him. So he decides to pay Rocky to be his bodyguard. And so, because he keeps getting picked on for the way he's dressing with the pinky ring and stuff like that.
Okay.
So he pays him to be his bodyguard. Tony then finally goes to his dad's boss, who was a mob guy, and asks if he could take over for his dad and, be the enforcer. He tells Tony, you're too small to be an enforcer, but maybe you could do some odd errands here and there, help us out. He does that, kind of develops his knowledge about the life, so to speak.
Okay.
Tries to support him and his mob and try to work his way up. But he kind of plateaus at that, low-level loan shark with Rocky still along with him for the ride.
Sure.
Of collecting for him. So it's not, not as detailed of a backstory, I guess you could say, as the others I've done. And then very, very different beginning than what you had.
Sure.
It's like I didn't want to go. I thought about going the route where, Philadelphia is a very broken town in the film. These guys are coming from the streets.
Mm-hmm.
The usual suspect is dad's an alcoholic.
Right.
He beats the mom. The mom's never home or whatever. There's that broken home.
Sure.
Alcohol's involved, gambling's involved, beatings are involved, which is normally, that is a life of way of life sometimes for that area and that type of town, not just Philadelphia, any inner city, where they're growing up like that. So I kind of wanted to go a little different route from it where, because Tony seems like a good guy. Like when he gives Rocky money for training.
Yep.
Gives him the money for the date with Adrian. A regular mob guy wouldn't do that. They wouldn't. No. They wouldn't. You get what you get. That's it.
Yeah.
So I figured, well, he's got a little bit of heart here. So let's kind of see why. How does he have a heart? Well, he's going to have a heart because his parents loved him and tried to keep him out of that business.
Okay.
And unfortunately, it didn't work that way.
Right. Well, there's the big difference. Like I know that you're a story writer. You told me you wrote a manuscript.
Yeah.
I'm not. So that's why.
It's tough to just summarize, but yeah.
So that's why I do the bullets. But basically, kind of the same thing is I kind of wanted to get away from him having abusive parents in one way, shape, or form. I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe he has no parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's nothing to draw from other than, you're in you're bouncing from foster home to foster home. And, a lot of those scenarios in those foster homes, I can't speak to it personally, but.
Right. But they're not usually very good. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to kind of fend for yourself, and kind of where my thinking is how Gazzo started to get that niche, fend for yourself. Hey, give me your milk money, or else I'm going to break your kneecaps or something. I'll kick you in the foot.
That's funny. Well, it got me wondering too. Like we did this, both of us did this up to Rocky, and then of course Rocky, he still works for Gazzo.
Sure.
And then he gets the shot, and he doesn't work for Gazzo, but he's still friendly with Gazzo, so to speak. Gets Paulie's job with Gazzo. But then after Rocky 2, you don't. I mean, I know why you don't see Gazzo anymore, because Joe Spinell, the actor, died.
Right.
But it's not even like they got somebody who was similar in looks to carry on that story, which, I mean, makes sense. I mean, Rocky now, he's got plenty of money in Rocky 3. He's definitely doesn't want to be seen with a low-level loan shark, so it's kind of made sense that they drifted away.
Sure.
And it's something that definitely, I'm sure Adrian would have never wanted Rocky to still be involved with people like that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, ours were, that middle part was almost the same, so it's funny.
I mean, the similarities are definitely there. But
I think it's funny that we both always assume that they're all in the same, like you're in the same school, you're in the same age bracket.
Yeah.
Because I thought about that first. Like the first thing I did was, okay, well, how old is Tony? Now he looks a little older than Rocky.
Right.
But he doesn't look like he's, Mickey. I mean,
No.
So it's like, maybe 5 years, maybe. But I was like, then how would he meet Rocky? So I don't know. That's why I thought maybe just a year would be a better storyline.
Yeah, that's why I kind of gave a generalization around 10 years oldish.
Yeah.
And then, to go a little bit deeper, how he met, how they met was, Gazzo goes up to Rocky, you'll give me your milk money or your lunch money. And Rocky's like, no, boom. And Gazzo's like, hey, we're cousins.
Yeah. Never mind.
Why don't you come work for me, or whatever.
Now it's funny because now that Rocky fighting, getting one of them getting in a fight and Rocky being there again was the Paulie situation.
Yeah.
In your backstory.
And you know what? And I didn't correlate that.
Yeah, remember Paulie was getting his butt kicked and Rocky went over to help.
Yeah.
It's funny. I mean, I would love to see the anecdotes or the notebooks Sly has on the prequel storylines. And maybe he did to write Rocky. I don't know how he writes. I don't know how, like, to me, and again, trust me, I'm no writer. I did some screenplays and all, but it's not like, I mean, I didn't do anything that got picked up. I didn't do anything that got made. I learned and got taught how to write a story, the beginning, the middle, the end. I mean, so I'm not speaking of experience like you should listen to me. I'm just speaking of experience like this is what I think.
Yeah.
I like to know the character. So I don't want to just be thrown into this character. Like he's this, well, why is he this way? How come he's this way? Okay. And to give that little backstory, I used to do that where I would write on the side little biographies of each of the characters. Now, if it's a menial character, if it was the Frank Stallone sing and take you back on the corner, street corner singer, that's it. That's what he did.
Yeah.
But, somebody else, Gazzo, or even Buddy.
Got a little bit more meat and potatoes to him.
Yeah, or even Buddy. Why is Buddy so angry? Why, like you said, you hit it though. He was jealous of Rocky.
Yeah.
He knew Gazzo liked Rocky. He probably doesn't know if Gazzo likes him.
Right.
Gazzo probably doesn't care. He's just the driver.
Right.
But he generally seems to care for Rocky. I mean, because in that life, in this scene here, why didn't you do what I told you? How do you know I didn't break his thumbs? Why didn't you do what I told you? That would never happen. If you didn't listen, you didn't do it. It's not, you're going to know. Thumbs. Trust me. You're not going to have a conversation.
No, exactly. They're breaking your thumbs.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I know.
But so Buddy, he doesn't like that he likes Rocky, so he's always got something mean to say to him. And
right.
He knows that, Rocky didn't care. But then when he started talking about Adrian, then he cared.
Oh, right. Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely.
That's when Rocky flipped out. Oh, man. But that was good stuff. I kind of like doing the backstories.
I do, too. And, because these movies they're set, they're done, unless he goes through and does a prequel or whatever,
Right.
or
Right.
adds another Rocky to the franchise. It feels kind of good in a sense to me because you can almost fill the voids because there's nothing new coming out
Right.
with the Rocky, So it's like in my imagination, I can see it happening. I wish I was better at putting in the pen to paper, but I can.
Right.
It's like playing a movie in my head that I'm making up about Rocky.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get
You know
it.
what I'm saying?
But that's like I told you. I wish. And again, you some of the stuff you don't really want to see because of obvious reasons. All right. So between Rocky 5 and Balboa, obviously a lot happened.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, there was a lot that happened between 5 and Balboa. Adrian dying being one of them.
Yep.
Opening the restaurant. I mean, but would you want to see Adrian die on screen? Would you want to see Rocky go through that?
No.
That's a
Would it
tough
make a
one.
hell of a story? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you figure from Rocky 5, that was 1990, to Balboa, that's 06. I mean, that's 16 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot of story to tell.
Yeah. They could even jump from year to year. They'd have to go right into her, the illness and dying, but they could show them growing older.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
Through
Showing him
those
getting,
years,
Rocky getting out of boxing, Robert getting into finances, and him showing Robert being a little more showing why he's so not angry with Rocky, but you cast a big shadow type of deal. Show those things happening, and then if you wanted to go further out of the Rocky storyline, then what you got between 06 and I think that was 15 when Creed came out.
Yeah.
So, you got between him fighting Mason Dixon to, just basically just running the restaurant in Creed. And of course, Paulie dies between the point A and point B.
There's some big gaps.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would like to, I don't know, like you said, Sly probably just thinks just enjoy the movies and just stop, So,
well, yeah, but but that's the cool part about like what we're doing with this, creating our own prequels or what they were doing, because you can see it playing in my mind. It's almost like another Rocky movie added to the saga.
No, absolutely. Like when I'm writing that down, I see this little teenager, slick hair and the glasses and the pinky ring, and everybody's making fun of him, and he's just thinking he's all that, strutting down the hallway. He's like, "You'll see, I'm going to be somebody someday." And
absolutely. I completely.
Rocky walking behind him with a sweatshirt on, and
and it's this little movie playing in our head, just in addition to.
Yeah, no, agreed.
And I'm not even sorry.
We'll have to figure out another character to do. And like you said, I'd like to do some of the smaller ones because the bigger ones obviously are pretty obvious where we're going to do. I mean, like we discussed earlier today, Mickey kind of gave us his backstory, although we could embellish on it, of course, a little bit more than what he gave. And then Rocky also, where he was just, in Rocky, he's already fighting in the clubs. He's already the loan shark collector. He already lives by himself still. He already, he already walks by the pet shop. Like all that happened. So what happened to that point?
Right.
I always thought Apollo was interesting. Like I always pictured Apollo like, how can I put this? Like I always pictured Apollo was like a young fighter, wins the Golden Gloves, goes to the Olympics, wins the Olympics. He's cocky, he's brash, he's always yapping, he kind of comes from money, like his exactly. So I mean, I don't know. But we could like I said, we could pick some or let them pick some.
Yeah, there's Glover, there's Drago, there's Duke, there's Tommy. I mean, there's well,
again, Tommy kind of gave us his backstory. He was sitting at the kitchen table. So, but we could embellish on it a little bit and twist it a little bit. But he said about his dad beating him and that kind of stuff. So, But yeah, the smaller characters, like the Little Marie's,
Little Marie.
Andy's bar, Andy, the bartender.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're stretching with some of them, but
Who cares?
It's fun. It's our show.
That's right.
Leave it down there. Tell us who you want us to do the backstory on next. Hope you like the backstories. We did get quite a few compliments on them, on how much people liked them. Got about 5 or 6 people that said they liked the backstory. They thought it was very cool.
Awesome.
So thank you for that. And then So then all right. Sorry.
Yeah. So well,
on that
note, parting thoughts is I have told Tony to put a lot of rocks in his pockets and put on his concrete shoes and hunker down and keep me posted that he is okay.
Yeah, we'll be good. We'll be good. So we'll see everybody next week. I won't be swimming in the next episode. We'll be okay. Until then, my friend.
No.
We'll see everybody then.
Be careful.
Yeah, we will. Have a good one.
We'll see you.